Everyone, the Pokemon fan 993 here, back with more Pokemon TCG Pocket. So today we are doing the Slowpoke drop event. So, pardon me. Someone tried to call me and I'm going to ignore that for right now. If they call me again, I'm going to stop the recording. So, essentially, we have a bunch of cards we can get with the Electric card, which I can't actually pull up, the Room card, the Shadow card, the Hexpress card, and the Slowpoke card. So, this deck mainly revolves around Snorlax EX. So, this card is particularly nasty because, well, it has 200 HP, it's a Mega Slowbro EX, which means it has a massive amount of HP, 200, Water type. 1 to go around, 90, creates 2 water energy, 1 colorless energy. Now, you know if it's going to be water energy or electric energy, it's going to be very unfair because of either Misty or the electric generator card. So it does 90, and you also flip 3 coins. And if you get a heads, it means you do 20 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon for each heads you get. So you can potentially do 90 to the main Pokemon and 0 to 60 on the one. So the task for this final one is win this battle with total of Mega Shine cards included in your deck. Win this battle without Pokemon EX included in your deck. Win 5 or more battles. Win 10 or more battles. And then, of course, you get the first time reward. So, in order for me to do the first part, I need to essentially use a deck that has at least 12 cards in it that aren't that are from the Mega Shine. This is particularly hard. Orange the thing is because there's a very limited amount of cards, and if you want to make an electric deck, you kind of have to really stretch your luck. But this is what I came up with. So we have Minccino, Cinccino, 2 of each, Electabuzz, and Electivire. Electivire is going to be slow and handy because it's not an EX card, but if you manage to get the 200 needed, it'll do 70 damage because of the weakness difference. They have no Pokemon on their side that has a resistance to they're all weak against electricity. We have the Cheer with this basically just to lock him down from using the 2 cards he likes to use the most, which is Suicune EX and Mega Slowbro EX. We have Pichu for attaching energy in case we need the extra time to do so. We have Raikou EX. This is just for damage and dealing damage to the opponent, and of course the ability. Now, one of the conditions I believe for this deck was, if I remember right, is to win with a Mega Evolution card. So this deck here actually fits all the requirements. Not this one. Go back to the one I was just looking at. So, just to give you guys a general idea of... Can I actually go? Okay, so we're going to edit. We're going to actually search up Mega Shine. So this is going to make us look at all the cards that we have that are essentially from this set. Hit OK. And we're going to go down. You can see that I have a total of 2, 4, 6, 8. 10, 12 cards with the exact amount we need. We have, of course, I was mentioning earlier, we have Electric, 2 of those, and we also have Mega Magnetic. This is for essentially for endgame of the match, if we can make it that far. This lets us do 80 damage plus 2 energy. That's pretty good, and does 30 energy per point you have taken. So if you manage to get 2 points and you're on like your last one, or you're like really close to the end, you essentially do 80 plus 60, which is 140, plus another 20 to do the weakness. This can be a little difficult to use because when I originally made the deck, I thought it was just for the points they got, which means you can use the endgame to basically just ramp up the damage, but you have to be very careful how you use it. Then we have the Poké Ball, which is something I use almost every single deck. Hang on. We have the Rare Cane. This is just to evolve, Actually, is there a reason he's... No, okay, so that's my mistake. So we can actually take the Rare Candy out. That's my mistake. That was before when I was making deck, so we can't put another card in there. But the other cards are Electric Generator. This works very similar to how it does in the regular TCG, except you flip a coin. If it heads, you attach an electric energy from your energy zone to one of your bench electric Pokemon. No one works on electric Pokemon. We have Cyrus. Is basically just to force him, if he decides to be a little cuck about it, he can retreat. The opponent has this card too, so we have to be careful about that. He also has the card called Leaf, which allows him to retreat for 2 energy. We have done this, lets us move an energy from our bench Pokemon to our active Pokemon, which could be good in certain situations. And now we're going to actually go into whatever, we're going to clear it, and then we're going to go into item Pokemon Tool, Stadium, and everything else. So we're looking for another card to put in here. I'm actually going to put a draw card in here. So I know we have Professor Oak's thing here somewhere. It's a full art. You don't need a full art for this, but that's what I'm going to use. So we're going to save that. Now, essentially, what we want to do here is first of all, Slowbro getting heads on anything is very nasty. We have to worry about Misty, who can essentially allow him to attach up to a ungodly number of energy cards to his Pokemon, which actually could cause some problems. So, Minccino and Cinccino were just there to kind of pad out the deck to make sure I had 12 Pokemon, or 12 cards. So we start with Electabuzz. Our turn first, unfortunately, we don't get a say in the first shot. But we're going to play Professor Oak's thing to draw 2 cards. We got Electric Generator, and we can't do anything else. We're going to put... Oh, we can actually play that, so Aya's going to play that. We didn't get the heads. And then we're just going to end our turn. And he plays Pokeball to add a random Pokemon from his deck to his hand. He plays Pachirisu to draw 2 more additional cards. He's going to put an energy on Slowpoke. He's going to pass him on the bench. And it's my turn. So what I'm going to guess here is going to evolve Electabuzz and Electivire, probably both of them. Put an energy on the main Pokemon. And he's going to end his turn. Not a lot else he can do. So he's going to take Misty. See how many heads he gets. So if he gets like 2 or 3, then the match is... Yeah, the match is... Look at that. Yeah. And then once you believe this game's fair with the coin flips. So if he didn't have Silver EX... Yeah, he has it. Alright, so the game's automatically over. We lost that one. Nothing really do in that situation. That was a very bad starting hand for us. If we would have got Pichu, or if we would have got several other Pokemon, it would have been alright. The only thing is with Oricorio is it does stop most of his deck, but he has that Basculin. If you manage to swap it to his main bench, his main, to his active spot during his turn, he basically can knock out Oricorio in one shot. So if we get Oricorio like first draw, we can delay for some time and basically get everyone else a chance to get their energy up. We're going to try again. We're going first again this time, Jesus. And put Electabuzz and 2 Electric on the bench. Also, he does have Suicune, which does 60 damage plus 20 more for each bench Pokemon, ours and his. So if you see it on their bench or whatever, or in play, you probably should be careful how many Pokemon you're putting on your that one right there. How much Pokemon you're putting on your bench, because if you do it just wrong, there's many things that go wrong in that situation. So, if I'm going to guess what's going to happen here, he's going to play Pokeball. He's going to add a random basic Pokemon from a deck to a hand. I'm hoping it's going to be Oricorio, but I can't guarantee that. Nope, it's Minccino, alright. We're going to end our turn since we can't do anything else. Play Misty. Immediately got a tail, so that card doesn't work. Put an energy on Slowpoke. So I'm the Slowbro, so that's not a very good start for us either. Every time we use a deck like this that we need to fulfill some kind of requirement, it's always going to be a problem. However, we did draw Oricorio, so we actually have a decent shot here. Because Oricorio presents damage to my EX, that includes all damage counters, so if Slowbro does the attack to Electivire, essentially Oricorio's not going to get hurt at all. Because it protects against bench 2. I took over, I'm going to use Raging Thunder, that's going to bring his back to another 10 HP. Now that I guess what he's going to do, he's going to put an energy on Slowbro. And then, yeah, he's going to retreat. And then he's going to put that in play. He's going to put an energy on Slowbro to use his ability, or its attack. He gets 1, 2, 3 heads. So unfortunately, I think that means I've just lost this match because now he just knocked out 2 of my Pokemon in one shot. So once again, Mega Pokemon being very unfair. And this is one of the reasons I quit playing like the majority, like the TCG Live, just because... Not because of this, obviously this deck doesn't affect the TCG, but I feel like they weren't shifting the meta enough to get rid of the really problematic decks. Like, I don't know what people would actually do, like, if they got rid of all the big meta decks overnight, but I stopped playing that. And this one's a lot more easy because I think there's a lot more leeway on what you can actually get away, what they can't get away with. For example, you could just put a bunch of Pokemon in a deck, put a bunch of cards in it. You could put one Pokemon and a bunch of cards in the deck. That's a weird thing to be able to do. I don't think it should be allowed that, but these decks are basically, you can't just stack them with a bunch of 3. For example, if they put Dragon Ball EX in this deck, it means you have to take up almost half your deck to put all the... No. 3, 6. It would take up almost half your deck in order to put those cards in there, and because there's not as many cards in the deck, and you can only have 2 of each card, it means you only put 2 rare candies in the deck, so there's a lot of scenarios about that. So looks like we got a pretty good hand this time. I don't know what he's going to draw, though. If he draws... Okay, he drew Poké Ball. He's going to play that. And he's going to play Misty, which he's probably going to get 3 heads at least. Nope, not a single one. Alright, that works for me. He plays another Slowpoke on the bench. Put the energy on that Slowpoke. Our turn. So I got Pichu. That could be helpful at some point. Put an energy on Electabuzz. Go for Head Bolt. 50 damage. Which is high for only 1 energy. Normally it's only 30, but because of weakness, you apply plus 20. This is very serious to draw 2 cards. Slowpoke into Slowbro. Put an energy on Slowpoke. Or Slowbro. There's Electivire. We have Electivire now. We're putting energy on Electivire. And we're going to attack. And that's going to put his Slowpoke down. But that also leaves a problem with the Mega Slowbro EX. The reason Electivire is in this deck is mainly because there's not a lot of electric cards in this deck. But another thing is that if I had Manmortar on my bench, I tried this combination, you could do much more damage. But unfortunately, because we're facing a water deck, getting Incineroar getting a Pokemon like that on our bench actually isn't that great of an idea. They got Laundry and I got 2 heads again, so my Pokemon are in danger of dying. Basically, if we manage to get another heads, we're basically done. But we did manage to get Magnemite, so we might be alright. He has no more Pokemon, so if this goes by the logic I want it to, we should be fine. We're going to do Incinerate Thunder, do 70 damage. Now, this is going to be kind of... Okay, that's an interesting play. I'm guessing he's going to attest the fact he's going to get... Okay, put Suicune on the bench, that's a problem. So let's see what he does. Let's see what happens. Tails, heads, heads. So, I think we're actually screwed now, because he just took out 2 Pokemon in 1 shot. I'll be honest, even with it shouldn't have been 20 damage per head. It should have been 10 damage per head. That's just too much. Like, maybe they should go Underground to 100 instead. But with Lightning Accelerate, I think we have enough damage to put it down anyway. We do, just barely. So we got very lucky. And since we took out his Mega Slowbro EX, we actually won because it gives us 3 points. So there's that. We managed to beat him with that deck. Okay, so that fulfills the requirements for essentially winning a deck with 12 cards and winning with a Mega Evolution card in our deck. So now we're going to use my other deck. There is one change I have to make to that deck before I do this, is I have to change out Raikou in the deck because the other requirement is to do it without an EX card. And Raikou is indeed an EX card. So we're going over this deck real quick once I edit it. We're going to edit. We're going to temporarily remove Raikou EX from it. This deck was made a while ago, but I kept adding it, so we're going to go to Lightning. We're going to try to find a replacement, one that's not an EX card. Something that we can use that would be helpful. We're also trying to find something like that's kind of hard in certain situations. But I do see this card here, so I think we're going to use that. So the card I chose was this Shinx. The reason I say that is because if we get 1 electric energy, it means that, yes, it basically just delays the turn for a bit, so I think that'd be fine. So this deck is comprised of Magnemite, which is just a basic Pokemon. Magneton, which allows you to attach an energy from your Energy Zone to this Pokemon every single turn, which is very, very good. Got 2 of those. Then we have Magnezone's Thunder Blast. So it takes 1 electric energy, 2 colorless energy, it is 110, which would do 130 to them, and it forces this card electric energy. So if you do it just right, you can actually make this deck very, very powerful. For example, if you were to take you're able to attach so much energy with Magneton, and then you switch to Magnezone, and then you evolved it into Magnezone, you could have so much energy that the Thunder Blast would not matter. Then we have Shinx, which I just showed you guys. We have Uchiru, which is the same one we had the other day, just to prevent the EX again. We have Pachirisu to attach an energy from our Energy Zone to attach to one of our electric bench Pokemon. Then we have my favorite of this. We have Pawmi, which is basic. We have Pawmo, which is another basic. Then we have the very powerful Pawmot. So ability counterattack allows you to deal 20 damage if the Pokemon gets attacked. And Electro Punch for 2 energy for 70, which will do 90. So 90 damage plus the possibility of inflicting backlash damage against the opponent is very good. We have the rare candy. This basically allows us to evolve Magneton, Magnemite to Magnezone, or Pawmi to Pawmot. We have Electric Generator allows us to attach an energy from our, like I said before, you flip a coin of heads, you get attach an energy from your energy zone to your bench electric Pokemon. Professor's Research allows us to draw 2 cards. Cyrus to force a switch in if we need, force him to switch in. Then we have this card. This card is fairly new. It says, during this turn, your Pokemon do Pawmot do 80 plus 80 damage to your opponents add to Pokemon EX. So, if we're taking the fact that Pawmot has a massive 70 plus, if we're counting 90 with the damage, it means it could do a massive 160, which means that if a Slowbro is already damaged, it would knock it out, and because Suicune has only 140 HP, it would knock that out as well. So it's kind of like a chance play. So now that we got that all saved, we're going to save it, and we're going to try it with this particular deck. So I'm fairly surprised it only took me about 2 to 3 matches to beat it with the other one, because it took me 5 or 6 the last time in order to get the conditions filled on it when I completed it the first time. So we got second, so that's pretty good on us. So I know this deck fairly well, so I don't think there's going to be too much problems. We'll put Shinx up there for bait. We're going to put Magnemite on the bench, and we're going to start the battle. Now, if we had Rare Candy, this would be a very good start, but we don't. So we're going to see what we can do. He didn't start with a very good Mon either, though. Put Suicune on the bench. Plays Misty. How many heads? Really? So you can attach him all to Sweep. So what's going to happen here, I can almost guarantee what's going to happen. During next turn, he's going to attach one to Basco and retreat it. Then basically just start stomping us. So I think we've already lost this one, so we're just going to concede. Like I said, I hate coin flips just in general. Like, they shouldn't exist in any capacity of any card game, because basically it's a 50-50 chance, and the fact that... Now, I can't say completely. For example, if... Okay, this attack does 30 damage, you flip a coin, it does 40 more. That's cool, but when you can do extra damage, or you can basically just make it completely unfair to your opponent to the point where it cause like a groaning session, that's when it becomes too much. Like, for example, there was a card, I don't remember, there's several cards in the regular TCG, like if you flip a coin, if your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out. There's so much wrong with coin flips in this game that, in both games, are just, and I think it's not just limited to Pokemon, I think it's limited to, I think it goes into like Magic, and I'm pretty sure it goes into Yu-Gi-Oh! As well. There's a lot of different factors. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Has less in it than that, but... So, he got a really good start, because at the end of his turn, he gets to draw 1 card because of Suicune EX's ability. Unfortunately, our hand is not looking very good right now. We got nothing. But we can use Hide here, which, let's see if we get a heads or not. Okay, might still be fine. It really depends on what he grabs. If he grabs a Misty, we're basically done immediately. He evolves Slowpoke into Mega Slowbro. Professor's Research, draw 2 cards, so we're good this turn. But we need to draw something. Okay, call me surprised he didn't actually attach the Suicune. I thought he would. Especially in this situation where I really can't do anything. Unfortunately, we got nothing else again. This is not looking very good at all. We're going to flip a coin. So we got head, tails again. Okay, now he plays Misty, so he gets at least 2 heads, we're done. Yep, GG. He got 3, so the match is already over. He's going to attack, and that's going to be the end of it. Not even bother going through the sequence to let me lose, so we're just going to ignore that. We're going to try again. Like I said, a lot of the situation, if you use these 2 decks, you're better off just hitting auto and just kind of leaving the phone alone. Because there's no penalty for losing in this game, and you don't lose your stamina for it either. So that's the best way you could do it. The other decks are pretty mild compared to this one. The third one still has Slowbro EX, but I don't think it has any, I don't think it has a Suicune in it. Like I said, if it wasn't for Mega Pokemon, some of these matches would be kind of, well, I would say they're kind of hard and not hard at the same time, because Slowbro is definitely a powerful Pokemon, but it also, if you manage to beat it, and they can't do anything about it, you automatically win. And if you have Suicune, at least there's 2, but if you don't have in your deck, it means you can't get an auto win by somehow outsmarting the AI to beat the Pokemon in question, the Mega in question. Okay. How much? 3. Okay. So, interesting. Oh, we did that just to deal damage, okay. Let's see what we draw. I'm going to take the auto off. I'm going to see what I can do here. Alright, I can do fuck all because, once again, I got a bad hand. That's a problem with running 2 fully evolved Pokemon in the same deck, is that particular issue. That's what I did. So this deck is not crazy reliable for certain situations. For the reason I don't really play like online with this deck. I have other decks that I can use, but this one is just really good for this particular event. Also, I don't know what the obsession is with Pokemon and water types, but there are so many water types throughout the TCG and the anime that it's. I understand that there's a lot of water, but it seems like they're really like milking it sometimes with how many water types we get. As many water types we get, we should really have no water legendaries at all. Just because of the sheer amount of regular waters we get. Okay. I feel like we still had Raikou EX in this deck, we'd be alright because we get to draw it every turn. We're getting Shinx a lot, but Shinx really isn't being that helpful. My turn. Okay. So we have that card, but we can't really use it. I was wondering if the air's going to be stupid and try to use it. We're going to use Hide. Tail so we don't get the effect. Opponent's turn. Because his research draws 2. Pokeball adds a random card to his hand. Put Suicune on the bench. Energy on Slowpoke. Man, we are not getting anywhere with this shit. Alright. This is another lost cause. I keep getting Shakes, but not any other basic Pokemon is starting to take me off a little bit. I guess with the extreme amount of luck, or the quick amount of luck I had in the last one, I guess it would be common for me to just, you know, not be able to end this particular one as quickly. Like I said, she's replacing Raikou EX, and if I had it, it'd be a lot easier, but you need to complete the task, so, you know, there is that. Good news events aren't always going on, so I have to keep making decks to keep fighting them. I would say they happen once in a while. Probably once every, like, maybe like once a month, maybe twice a month at the most, but I think it's like once a month. Alright, we actually got a better-ish hand this time, but he also started with 2 Suicune EXs, so this might not be as good as I'm making it out to be. Alright, so I'm actually gonna, let's see. What does it give me? So we're going to put... Actually, we're not going to do anything during our first turn. We can't really do anything, so we're just going to end our turn. So here's what I'm hoping is going to happen. First of all, he isn't going to play Suicune. He isn't going to play Misty this turn now because he played Professor's Research. So we're good this turn for now. I don't know what he is. Okay, he's going to put one in there. Legendary Pulse going to activate, draw 1 card. Alright, what do we get? Got Pawmo. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to actually put Magneton on that. We are going to use Magneton's ability, Volt Charge, to attach an energy to it. We're going to use our Regigiroar to attach an energy to it as well. We're going to put Shinx on the bench, and end our turn. There's so many support cards being used, but it's absolutely useless to use at the moment, so I'm not going to try. Slowpoke on the bench, energy on Suicune, Crystal Waltz is going to do enough damage to knock it out. So, we have a lot of things that could happen here. I'm putting Magneton in. If we lose Magneton, basically the thing's over. But if we manage to get lucky enough, we might be alright. We did not get lucky enough. Okay. So I think this is another lost cause. He's going to knock me out in one shot because of Crystal Waltz. He put so many Pokemon on the bench, and another... It seems like, especially for this game, it seems like the EX cards do way too much damage in certain situations. Like, it's almost to the point... It's the same problem the regular TCG has. It's... Well, we're going to put Skeet cards instead. We're going to make them so overpowered that regular Pokemon can't do anything against them. Like, it seems like... I think there should be an event, especially in the major TCG, where you're not allowed to use EX cards or anything like that. You have to use regular cards. Because I think in that situation, it just seems like there'd be a lot more fun. There'd be a lot more creativity than just copying and pasting the Mega decks, the EX decks, the GX decks, the Tag Team decks, stuff like that. That's how everyone thinks, though. Like, okay, it's a legendary, so it's going to work, or it's powerful, so it's going to work. I've encountered so many people like that, just in regular games, like Pokemon Championship just came out, and it's a little ridiculous. I wish I could draw Pachirisu. If I could draw Pachirisu in one set of Shinx, I think I'd be fine. You know what I could do? I think I'm going to do that. Not something I would normally do, but we're going to do this for this one time. So normally my setup for these decks is to do 15 Pokemon, and then 5 trainer cards or whatever item cards somewhere along the area. So we're going to make a slight change to this deck. Just a slight one. What we're going to do is, we're going to take, once I'm able to get to it, I don't know what the hell is about this game too, but it seems like it runs slow as hell, and I'm not really sure why it does that. But we're actually going to take Shinx out entirely. And we're going to do something I don't normally do. We're going to take Shinx out. We're going to say see ya bye. What we're going to do is we're going to unbalance my normal balance of the deck. So we're going to take Shinx out. We still have 20 cards. But if I decide to go into the trainer spot here, and I happen to, let's just say, put something in there that'll help me deal with this. For example, let's put, see we're having trouble getting regular Pokemon. So we're actually going to take him out and we're going to put in the Poké Ball. Pokeball's going to let us add a basic Pokemon to our deck, from our deck to our hand. So I think that's going to, first of all, it'll stop us from getting Shinx. And in this game, if you happen to, how would you say it? If you happen to not get a Pokemon in your hand, the game will actually reshuffle it. It won't tell you it's reshuffling, and your opponent gets no new cards. So actually running a deck with only a few Pokemon in your deck could net you some free wins, because of how the game handles having no Pokemon in your hand that can be used. So we're going to try this. That means that logically, the first one we should put into play should be either Pawmi, should be Pachirisu, should be Magnezone, Magneton, or Magnemite, or it shouldn't be any at all. Logically. So it's going to be, yeah. So we actually managed to get Pawmi and Pawmo so far. Alright, so we're going to probably play some research first to grab what we need. Let's see what happens. We got Nemona and Rare Candy. That's actually a pretty good combination, if we're being honest. But, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to matter much, because we don't have Pawmot in our hand. And he already put Mega Slowbro in play. EX is going to go on the bench. So I don't know, I think he's going to do too much. Nope, still hanging in there. Lori Pulse activates. So I think we're cucked because we can't do enough damage. So it was a good idea, but we need more time to pull it off. So we're gonna try again. Would have been better if we got exactly what we needed, but definitely not having the Shinx just randomly in our hand definitely seems to, so far it seems to have helped. I could potentially take, and it's kind of crazy we haven't drawn, like, at any point we haven't drawn, Oricorio. Like, it seems like that Pokemon just seems to be non-existent in this deck. I don't understand why, because we clearly have it, but the game's just not letting us draw it. Alright, we got second, so that's a good start. Okay, there's Pachirisu. The only problem with that is we have no Pokemon in our hand currently to do it, but we do have the Poké Ball in our hand, so that might work alright. So I'm going to turn the auto off because we actually think we have a fair chance here. Play Misty. Immediate tail, so that's also good for us. So this might be the match. That's not a mess thing. Okay, so we actually got Oricorio. So we're going to put Oricorio on the bench. We're going to play Poké Ball. Add a random Pokemon from the deck to our hand. There's Pawmi. Good. So we're going to put Pawmi on the bench. We're going to put energy on Pachirisu. Plasma is going to let us do 30 damage because of the weakness. We can attach an energy from our energy zone to our Pokemon, so we're going to choose Pawmi, and that's going to end our turn. So it's Misty again. Damn, another heads. Also, my luck's finally catching up. Plays Pokeball to add a random card to his deck to his hand. Energy on Slowbro. Slowpoke. Cinccino to see how this deck could work. But I don't think it really matters now, because I think yeah, it's over. I got him. So we're going to retreat to Pachirisu to Pawmo. And then we're going to basically just knockout him out. So we got really lucky there, but this deck definitely works. It's just, I need more time to do so. But it does work. It's just that I got really lucky there. Because he has no Pokemon left, so he has to forfeit. And then all you have to do after this is basically just beat that one again with different decks. And you need to do it, I believe it's up to 10 times. So you need to do it 8 more times after this. And that's basically it. It's not crazy difficult. It'd be easier if the opponent didn't have any Misty cards in their hand, because that seems to screw us over almost every single time. But I think that's going to do it for this video. Thank everyone for watching. This is Pokemon Fan 993 signing off. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.